It is a good time to be a Sonic fan right now. For as much as the Blue Blur has had a rather rocky career path over the decades since his debut, he has somehow still managed to keep chugging along, much to the surprise of pretty much everybody.
How are you not dead?
I have no idea!
Give me a big fat break!
In the last few years alone, he has managed to increase his reputation greatly, with a string of quality-made games, a few somewhat decent compilation packages and re-releases, and an animated Netflix series that struck a great balance between lighthearted humor, intriguing nuanced storytelling, and high-octane action-packed goodness. Also, he died. But not really. It's a whole thing. Of course, the biggest contribution to his recent success is his breakthrough onto the silver screen with his live-action movie series. While the first film was initially mocked because of how video game movies were perceived at the time, and certainly not because of anything else, it ended up becoming a smash hit, earning over $300 million at the box office and receiving a ton of critical praise. And personally speaking, it was the best movie I saw in cinemas in 2020. Because it was the only movie I saw in cinemas in 2020. Because it was 2020. It ended up spawning a fantastic sequel, a spin-off series coming to Paramount Plus, and a third movie that just dropped one heck of a teaser trailer. In fact, dare I say it, aside from Pokemon, Sonic seems to have had the biggest success rate when it comes to a video game franchise adapting to film and television. A hit movie franchise, 6 soon-to-be 7 TV shows spanning the last 30 years, not to mention the various web animations that crop up around every new game release. It seems as though the Blue Hedgehog was perfectly made to be a multimedia megastar. Unfortunately, not everything he starred in has been an incredible success, or particularly good. Hence why we're talking about today's subject, the original Sonic movie from 1996, simply called Sonic the Hedgehog the Movie. Okay, to be honest, calling this a movie is a bit of a stretch, as it is actually another 2 Japanese OVAs stuck together. Gee, sound familiar to anyone? However, unlike the Digimon movie, this isn't simply another Frankenstein hack job, as both episodes are just shown back to back in their entirety. So we won't be constantly asking ourselves what the heck is going on. At least not in the same way. It was produced by animation studio Pierrot, the guys behind such popular anime shows like Naruto, Bleach, and Yu Yu Hakusho. Both episodes were released on separate VHS tapes in Japan at the beginning of 1996, but were later brought over as a complete package to Western audiences in September 1999, to coincide with the international release of Sonic Adventure for the
Sega Dreamcast. Sega Dreamcast?
With the English dub being handled by ADV Films, who has also worked on the dubbing for Neon Genesis Evangelion, Azumanga Daioh, and another infamous Pierrot production, Ghost Stories.
Stupid rabbit. Come on, jump.
I said jump!
Thankfully this movie doesn't go that crazy, though not by much. There were 2 instances I remember hearing about this film when I was a kid. The first was in an issue of the UK exclusive Sonic the Comic. It was either as part of a review or a competition or just an insert in one of the pages. The second time was on the Sega Saturn compilation Sonic Jam, where in the Sonic World section you can enter a movie theater to watch a trailer for the film alongside a few Japanese Sonic commercials, the animated sequences in Sonic CD, and a bizarre animated short where Robotnik dresses up as Sonic and causes mayhem around the city. Sadly, I never got to see the movie when I was a kid, but I did pick up the DVD release later in life. Though I have to say the tagline on the cover is not exactly pleasant. Scrape your knuckles, catch some tails. First of all, that sounds incredibly painful. Secondly, I don't think you thought that second line through, especially considering that the character you're associated with is supposed to be a child. I haven't even started the movie and already things have gotten weird. Let's just get on with it and see how this turns out. Oh come on, really? You're gonna show the Sega logo on a Sonic movie and not play the jingle? How do we even know it's a proper Sonic movie without the classic jingle? Thankfully they got that right with the next movie. The film begins properly in Dr. Robotnik's lab, where he is constructing his latest creation, a robotic version of Sonic known as Metal Sonic.
Then you'll be complete, my Hyper Metal Sonic.
Or Hyper Metal Sonic. Why the extra word at the beginning? Was the metal part not good enough on its own? Or did you want him to sound like a Dragon Ball Z character? I think Sonic has ripped off that franchise enough. After we're assaulted by the movie's title, we cut to a floating island, though not the floating island, where Sonic and Tails are just chilling out. Is that the Starship Enterprise?
I finally finished it! See, isn't it great? It's a jet-propelled bodyboard. Come on, you want to try it out?
Not right now, thanks.
Alright, I'll go use it myself.
The voices of the characters can be a little bit off-putting, but honestly I never really found them that annoying. They're just okay, though I am wondering why Sonic's voice actor was made to perform with a clothes peg on his nose.
Tails is just like a little kid with his new toy.
Okay, I've said you lied. Can I take this thing off my nose now? It hurts! I wonder if that's why Sonic is constantly touching his nose throughout this film. Unfortunately, their relaxation is interrupted by the arrival of an old man called... Old Man. No, seriously, that's literally what they called him in the credits. By the way, if I had a nickel for every Sonic movie that featured a random owl character that was never in the games... No, you know what? I'm not doing it. That meme is way overused, I'm sick and tired of it, let's just move on. It is weird that it happened twice, though. After Sonic rescues the Old Man and Tails from a fatal crash, he's told that the President wants to speak to him at his house. After an overly long sequence of their plane taking off, they arrive at the President's house only to be greeted by Dr. Robotnik, who has the President and his daughter Sarah held hostage. As Robotnik explains his demands, we learn that the planet, known as Freedom, is divided into two separate layers. The Land of the Sky, where Sonic and his friends reside, and the Land of Darkness, where Robotnik lives. He tells them that he was recently kicked out of his home by a being known as Metal Robotnik. Are you serious? Okay, this is obviously just a big scheme by Robotnik, and we later learn that he's controlling his metal counterpart. But can you at least not name him after yourself? Anyway, it turns out that Metal Robotnik messed with a generator in Robotnik's base, and if it isn't shut down by sunrise tomorrow, then the entire planet goes out with a bang. Or ban, as this shot shows. Sonic is very unwilling to help the Mad Doctor, even as everyone pleads for him to do so.
Sonic, I don't care what happens to Robotnik or Daddy, but please just do this for the two of us.
Wow, Sarah, way to throw your own father under the bus like that. He does eventually agree to do it, and after Tails is fitted with a navigation device, our heroes head off to the Land of Darkness. So what will the others do while they're waiting? Play video games, of course, of themselves beating each other up. So that's when Nintendo got their idea. And apparently the scene is so good they just had to cut back to it twice. I just love the President's expression here. I think he's just happy that his daughter finally has a friend to play with. Can't imagine why she never had one before.
No, I want to! Take me on a drive now!
Eventually Robotnik heads out in his giant robot, and Sarah tags along for the ride. Yes, because this is the character I clearly wanted to see more of in a Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Meanwhile, Sonic and Tails enter the Land of Darkness, and after indulging in an action sequence loaded with references to the games, they hit a warp zone and arrive in what looks like a desolated version of New York. Wait, is this a post-apocalyptic film? It will explain some of the imagery we've seen so far, and why a human girl wants to jump the bones of an anthropomorphic hedgehog. Which, again, Sonic, why has this happened twice? The duo attempt to navigate their way through the city until they're confronted by Metal Robotnik, who for some reason looks like a giant robot chicken. I mean, I know Robotnik's real name is Eggman, but I didn't think it was that literal. Anyways, they has fight.
You can't hide from me!
We don't have enough time to mess around with some robot!
What are you talking about? That's literally all you do. Robotnik chases after them, but they manage to give him the slip. However, they're found out again, and Robotnik fires a glue gun at them through his... rear exhaust?
Blow it out your ass.
Yep, that's what he's doing.
Say cheese!
Yeah, do you think you may have packed a few too many explosives in those missiles? Our heroes end up getting stuck, with Sonic on the verge of drowning, but help arrives in the form of Knuckles the Echidna. I have no idea why he's wearing a hat now suddenly, or why they decided to give him a southern accent.
That's one more job I won't get paid for, but I've known you for a while, so I'll just put it on your tab, and you can pay me back later on.
Still, it's better than that time he had a Ugandan accent.
Do you know the way?
The three of them manage to defeat Metal Robotnik, which leads to them discovering Robotnik's city of Robotropolis, which is kind of hard to miss since he has his face plastered all over it. Also, Knuckles can fly now. He can only glide in the games, but here he just flies. Okay.
You do not know the way, but in time I will show you the way, you understand?
Okay, if I'm gonna keep using this joke, I'm gonna go in a different direction with it.
This is the way.
The team arrive at the entrance to Robotnik's lab and head on inside, where they face off against a series of defenses. Wow, Robotnik must have been having an off day when he designed that one. Before ultimately coming across the wayward generator. And if you thought having his face plastered all over the city was an odd choice, look at this thing! It's literally built into the mechanics of the generator. I gotta say, I love it when heroes and villains take the time to incorporate their motif into their equipment. I just find it really endearing. They managed to shut down the generator just in time. But, of course,
It's a trap!
the machine siphons off data from Sonic and transfers it into Hyper Metal Sonic, who appears in a manner that is way too badass for how goofy this movie has been up to this point. That's one of the big problems of this OVA. The characters are decidedly very cartoonish in their personalities, but there have been a few moments, and plenty more to come, where the situations become overly dramatic and serious. It's these sudden shifts in the overall tone that can be incredibly jarring. For example, just after Metal Sonic's dramatic entrance, Metal Robotnik arrives and falls to pieces, revealing that Robotnik and Sarah were inside the whole time. And then Sarah does this. Yeah, like I said, complete tonal whiplash. Sonic tries to attack Robotnik, but Metal Sonic gets in his way, leading to a fight between the two of them. A fight that ultimately ends with Metal kicking Sonic off of a mountain. And geez, who would have thought that the one weakness for the so-called fastest thing alive was a slow-moving kick? After dealing with his furry doppelganger, Metal heads over to Sonic's home island, where Old Man Al has apparently been house-sitting for him.
Master Sonic, is there something wrong? Wait, what are you doing? Stop!
Nah, I'm just kidding. But when Knuckles and Tails arrive, Metal has already left after dressing the old man up in Sonic's favourite clothes. Wait, how does Sonic have favourite clothes when these guys usually wear nothing but shoes? The hat notwithstanding.
How do you do, fellow kids?
What?
Using Metal Sonic, Robotnik unleashes an attack on the land of the sky, with Sarah still as his prisoner.
Now I can take my plan to the next stage. Here you go, Sarah. This is a present I got for you.
Woohoo! I love it!
Oh my god, Sarah is such a fickle. Her home is being destroyed, her family could likely be dead, but one side of a brand new dress and she completely forgets all of that. She is just the worst. By the way, the next time we cut back to them, both of them have changed into completely different outfits. So, did they just get changed right in front of each other? Actually, it gets even worse, as Robotnik reveals that once everyone in the land of the sky is destroyed, they'll be the only ones left, meaning that they can get married and presumably will have to repopulate the planet. The idea punctuated by this incredibly cursed image of their happy little family, complete with Sarah breastfeeding one of the Robotnik babies. Needless to say, she doesn't take it very well. Tails and Knuckles manage to contact the president, telling him that they figured out Robotnik's plan. By having Metal Sonic destroy one of the connecting bridges at the most northern part of the continent, the islands will break away from the planet and end up drifting into space. Sonic appears, having survived his fall from grace, and after hearing all of this, rushes off to the northern continent. He encounters Metal Sonic there, and the two of them engage in Mortal Kombat. Oh, wait, no, that's still the wrong franchise.
You might know everything I'm going to do, but that's not going to help you, since I know everything you're going to do. Strange, isn't it?
Okay, for some unknown reason, this has become the most popular line in the entire film. Maybe it's the way it was delivered, maybe it's not the sort of thing you expect to hear from Sonic. Maybe it's Maybelline, I don't know. Sonic fans seem to have a weird habit of picking the most random, out-of-nowhere lines to become popular memes.
Snooping as usual, I see.
No copyright law in the universe is going to stop me!
Where's that damn fourth Chaos Emerald?
Watch out! You're gonna crash! Ah!
Oh no! 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 Oh no!
Oops, one too many.
Okay, this is becoming a bit too much. Any advice on what to do here, Sonic?
You get out of there.
So, this big climax is just chaotic, with a lot of things happening at once. So I'm going to do my best to sum up as much as I can. Robotnik and Sarah arrive just in time for the two Sonics to crash into them. Sonic does a weird dance on Robotnik's Eggmobile, while Metal partakes in that. As Robotnik tries to catch Sonic, Sarah falls to her death.
Oh no! Anyway, last week...
Actually, she's fine, as Knuckles arrives to save her at the last minute. Was it worth it? Tails also arrives and uses a navigation device to try and hack into Metal's systems to help out Sonic, but not before his plane is shot down by Robotnik and his odd tortoise and hare themed missile combo. Even his explosions have his face on them. You gotta give him credit for branding consistency. Then the president and the old man arrive for some reason and get themselves stuck in one of the ice bridges. Team Sonic tries to save them, but the ship explodes. However, in a strange twist of fate, Metal is the one that ends up saving them from the wreckage. This leads to another overly dramatic shift in tone as Metal is knocked into a sudden volcanic overflow, and Sonic attempts to rescue him, only for Metal to reject his help, telling him that
There is only one Sonic.
I feel like we've missed a few steps here in this out-of-nowhere redemption story arc. I mean, I get that Metal's personality had become so much like Sonic's that he started to become a good guy, but the turn happens in like a split second, and now his death is being treated as a great tragedy? What the heck is going on here? This is Sonic the Hedgehog, not frickin' Akira! The gang mourn Metal's death for about 5 seconds, when Robotnik shows up saying that he'll use Sonic's data again to create an even stronger Metal Sonic, presumably called Super Duper Ultra Hyper Metal Sonic, HD Remix. But the Tortoise missile from earlier returns and blows up the disc and the data along with it. This leads to a comical chase scene where Sonic runs into the camera and the movie just kind of ends. However, we're not done just yet. As the credits play, we're treated to the song Look-alike performed by Japanese singer Ryu Konaka, and the lyrics are peculiar to say the least. Now I get what the song is going for, clearly trying to show how things that seem quite different can actually be similar, mirroring the relationship between Sonic and Metal. However, if you listen to the full version, which incidentally was never officially released until August 2020, you'll hear even more crazy comparisons like money and Monet, womb and ocean, and food and poo. I'm not joking, listen for yourselves. There is an official Sonic the Hedgehog song that talks about poo. Well, I suppose it's only natural if you love chili dogs as much as this guy does. Sonic the Hedgehog the movie can be a fun time, but it's also incredibly confused and confusing. For a 90s anime, the visuals are pretty decent, the action scenes are energetic and exciting, and the music is really good too. A Sonic product with really good music? Color me surprised. However, everything else just feels like utter madness. The plot keeps on jumping from light-hearted comedy to dark and serious drama. The characters' voices can range from mildly irritating to lobotomy-inducing, and the overall story is far too complicated to make any sense whatsoever. I get that this was around the time when Sonic games were taking a dramatically different shift in how they were being presented. In fact, I think this movie might have inspired some of the games released around that time. But nothing in this movie felt particularly like a typical Sonic adventure. In fact, I bet if you removed every single reference to Sonic, you'd lose nothing from this movie. Maybe that's why we've got so many long drawn-out sequences, so that they can jam in more references to the games and be like, oh hey, Spikes, remember those from the games? And hey, those are the B-robots from the game too. See, this is totally a Sonic movie, guys. Don't believe us? Go buy the games and see for yourself. Heh suckers. Still, as much as I've made fun of this film, I do have a soft spot for it. Maybe it's because I'm a Sonic fanboy at heart, but there honestly isn't anything too egregious here, and for something that goes on for less than an hour, it's hardly the worst thing out there. Like I said at the start, Sonic seems to have a great record when it comes to film and TV adaptation, and while some people might consider this movie to be the run to the litter, personally I think that says great things about this blue hedgehog and his impact on the world of mainstream media. I mean, have you seen the trailer for the Knuckles series? He's wearing the hat from this movie! And the teaser trailer from Sonic 3 has Live and Learn from Crush 40. Sonic the Hedgehog, greatest video game to silver screen crossover of all time. Oh, still can't quite beat Mario though.
That's no good.
Hi everybody, TeknoBoy here. Thank you so much for watching this video, I really do appreciate it. It's been a while since my last update, but you know how it is with Christmas and New Year's and that, there's just a lot happening around. I know I don't usually post videos that often, but I really do like to take my time with them to make sure that they're just right before I end up putting them out there. You can understand how that is. In fact, I had to scrap another video that I was working on previously because I just didn't really like the way it was turning out. Maybe I was a bit too ambitious with it, but maybe I'll visit it again sometime later on, but for now I'm quite happy with how this one turned out. And since we're talking about video game movies, in particular with the Sonic films, well, I'd like to know what your favourite video game movies are out there. If it's ones that are very niche, is one of the more popular recent ones, or maybe ones that you are really looking forward to, or ones that you would like to see being made, because I know that's a big topic, that video games are really getting into being big budget releases. So I'd like to know what games you'd like to see would make into a movie or a TV show. And while you're at it, do all the usual stuff, like, share and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.